Hello, sorry I'm a minute or so late. There we go. Okay, all right. You can see there's two of me on this screen now. My daughter's watching in her bedroom. So she's moved from hanging out in the tent to watching the show in her bed. All right. Oh, hold on. There we go. Now I have volume. Let's see if this is working. All right. Hello, everyone. Okay, I think you can hear me now. Oh, my bro says hello. Hey, bro. All right. So nice to see everyone. Oh, so today I was I meditated today and I was asking for something to talk about, and you know, my mind goes all over the place. Then I look for questions. Does anyone have questions? And I don't think anything came in from what I saw. Maybe there's a few last people came through with a question. Does anyone have a question they want to speak about today? I'm very open to talking, or we can just go into the actual healing today. I've been talking all day. I've been talking all day. I love talking, and it's always kind of it's always coming down to the same thing. All of our journeys are different. Be kind to yourself. You're gonna have good days and bad days as you're healing. So this call, and the reason we do this call really is really to bring in love and light and to go through a healing process. So when I first start talking, actually about 50 minutes before, this energy starts flowing through. And when I say energies, I'm working with a few people who've never dealt with energy work before, and they have lots of questions, and their questions are so good. Like, what do you mean they? What do you mean the energy? What do you mean this? What do you mean that? And all great questions. So I work differently. All healers or energy practitioners, everyone's gifted in their own way, right? We're not all the same. We're all very unique. So when I'm working with a group of people like this, or when I'm working one-on-one, what's happening when I'm working is very different. It's the way, say, my partner works, or some other healers I go to. I get out of the way. The 3D Brenda really doesn't understand everything. I understand a lot of things, but there's a lot of things multidimensional I don't understand. So my ability is to get out of the way. These beings of light come through me as I'm holding the space, or they use my connection, let's say, and they do the work. So the way I see it is, as everyone's on these calls, or if there's someone in front of me, you all have your own guides. You all have your own spiritual team, and they kind of, with your higher self, work together to connect with this higher intelligent love and light. And they're doing work on you in ways we can't imagine. They're working on your different fields, your emotional field, your mental field, so many things, your chakras, all those things we hear about, we don't really have to understand. And they're doing what you need, because we all heal differently. We're all on different journeys. So what I'm going to release today is not the same as this person or this person or this person. We release systematically and we release safely. And when it's done right, we just don't magically feel 100% better. You feel lighter because you're anchoring in more light, letting go of the darkness. So there's this like balance of right now we humanity, we've created this. We all have dark and light within us. So we all have our own darkness, we all have our own light. And this ascension process going through, this change, this evolution humanity's going through, is releasing that dark, dense energy and anchoring in more light. So you slowly are starting to hold more light. And really what that means is your higher self is you. You're already divine. You're already perfect. You're already a magnificent being. We're just pulling away the resistance that gets in the way of your authentic beauty connection that's already there. So you don't have to look for your higher self, look for your divinity. You already have it. You just have to get out of the way of it. So we're not making you any better. We're just pulling out the stuff that stops you from shining through. So that's kind of like what we're doing in this thing today. And what's happening is there's lots of light beings coming through already. They're already working. There's lots going in, and you're releasing. So some people feel some nausea, some tingling, some dizziness. Some people feel fear. I get a lot of people saying, Brenda, I cannot finish your call. I can listen to your talk. I feel the energy as you're talking. But once you kind of like light it up, I have to hang up because this intense fear comes over me. And what that fear is we all have this dense energy, right? That dense energy has a consciousness. It can even talk to us. It can make us do things that we don't want to do. So if you're trying to not overeat, it's going to give you cravings to eat junk food. If you're trying to stay off alcohol, it can give you desires for a drink. If you're an addict and you're trying to get off, it can give you desires for that. So all that's coming from within is a desire. It can't force you to do anything, but it can give you an impulse, a desire to say something mean to someone, to get mad over something. That's the darkness within us. When we're feeling high and light and in the connection, that's the light that's shining through. But we all have this duality. So some people can actually hear the difference. I was always able to do that. And some people just know there's something there that shouldn't be there. It causes negative feelings, things like that. So we're going to just pull away what we can very gently and safely, and you feel lighter. And the stuff gets pulled out today is always going to leave based on your best interest. Your higher self is in control of your healing. The healing space is created. It's up to you to release. It's not your mind that's doing it. It's your higher self that's doing it. But your mind can add the intention that I'm ready to heal at a deeper level, and that can happen. So just kind of go with it and allow it. And that fear is that dense energy has a consciousness, and it's like, I'm not leaving. I'm not going. And it'll just say, shut it off. Or it kind of scares people. And then what happens is they kind of just jump off the call because there's this, but that's what it is. So it can feel kind of icky initially, but once it kind of gets pulled out of your field and it starts replacing with love, like that's where you get the calmness and the light feeling. So if you can manage to push through it, do so. I mean, lately I've been having clients come in my office and they're running to the bathroom to go to the bathroom because they're either vomiting and it doesn't sound very nice. I'm going to go for an energy session and then I need to throw up or I need to go use a bathroom to release some negative energy. But after it's all said and done, I mean, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. This is how sometimes we heal. They'll just say, wow, like I needed that. I feel so much lighter than I came in. And energetically, they look so much lighter, right? Just they're leaving that heavy, dense energy behind and feeling lighter. So just relax with the call, drink some water as we're talking, get comfortable. I do have some questions that came in. Give me a second. I'm just going to read a few here and see what's going on. Okay, so some people are writing that they haven't been feeling well and that they, feeling a little bit down emotionally, physically, and they want some extra love sent their way and they feel like crying. Like sometimes life gets heavy, right? We're going through so much right now and we're all going through things at different levels, right? It depends what you're paying attention to, what your life's at. And if our bodies aren't feeling good, it can be even heavier. I deal with a lot of sick people, a lot of emotionally sad people. But you always have that spark in their eye that they're trying to get better, and that kind of keeps me going. But what I try to do with my life is balance it. Try to balance it with not always doing energy work, doing things that excite me, having fun. And sometimes like my fun may not be what someone else's fun is, but I try to add fun to my life because you can't always be so serious about life. I know our bodies are sick sometimes and it feels crappy. And if you need to cry, let it out. That's just the resistance coming out. Just let it go. And then some people don't heal as fast as they want to. They're not emotionally stable enough. And, some people have done things that they regret and their bodies are not feeling good because of that, or their mind's been affected and they're regretting. Regret just teaches us something we've done wasn't good for us, and now we're in a better mindset. So take the regret and just learn from it, but don't dwell on the regret. Just use affirmations to feel better. Every day I'm feeling better and better. But anyone who's sending me these, like, I'm really not in a good place, send me extra love, you're all going to get what you need, but I will make that special intention to each and every one of you, your families, and whoever. So if you want to add something, either in a direct message to me or just to everyone, we all can include it. But your higher self knows what you need, and the love is flowing. I have another question here about how does Mercury being in retrograde and the moon affect us all? Well, some of us are a lot more sensitive to others. So right now, with the way planet Earth is working, Mother Earth is going through the ascension process, just like we are. So it's humans individually, which is going through that light and dark, getting rid of the darkness, bringing in more light. So when I say yes to the ascension process, which I do every morning, what I'm saying is no to the darkness. I'm going to get rid of it. And I'm down to, like, there's so little there. It's amazing. But I do lots of work to release it. And then, we have our own personal ascension. And not to say that I'm done, don't get me wrong. Just I've done a lot of bulk of the work, which is really heavy work. I still release. We're human. I'll probably release till the day I die. And get better and bring in more light. It's a personal ascension. It's a human collective ascension, and it's planet Earth's ascension. We're all working at this together. So we have a lot of help, and there's a lot of things astrologically that have happened. There are a lot of things that are aligned for this change on Earth to happen. So when all these things like this, the age of Aquarius, there's retrogrades, there's solar flares, there's the moon, there's all these things that are energetic pushes. So we have lots of help from the other side. We have, we have beings of light that are pushing humanity to heal. We have all these extra, like right now is probably one of the best times to start healing because we're releasing more than we ever have. So one energetic session today is like 4, say, a year ago or 2 years ago. They're increasing. And that's why I've kind of limited my individual sessions. Because if I have too many, I'm wiped out, I'm nauseous all day, I can't function. So I only limit myself to so many, and I just started doing other things because the energies out there are so strong. So when I do 1 session, it's like the person's getting 4 sessions, it takes a toll on me because unfortunately somehow when I'm working with people, the energy goes through me and I pick up the stickiness and then I have to go clear it myself. So we're in this really interesting thing. So when there's Mercury retrograde and things like that, there's an alignment of energies, and it's kind of like a healing. I'm going to say it's kind of like a healing energy or healing push that can really rattle things up. So if you look on the internet on what are symptoms of Mercury retrograde or things like that, or solar flares, it could be dizziness, nausea, emotional instability, all those things, because we're energetic beings and we're being bombarded by all these energies. So if I say yes to the ascension process and I am a willing participant in my change, well, I'm kind of welcoming these energies to come behind me and help me through. So I'm going to release more, and as I'm releasing energetic stuff, it could be traumas, experiences, belief systems. We all kind of buy into planet Earth's rules, the cultures, the government, the this, the that, right? And that's 3D life. So that is what it is to be human. You kind of buy in. Like Brenda Ferrugia has to do her taxes. Do I like doing my taxes? No. Do I know it's a 3D thing that I bought into and I'm breaking that program? Yes, but I'm still here. So I still am of this world. I'm in this world, but I understand kind of where I am in a broader view. There's a lot of people that are just living life, and that's all they know is life. They go to work, they don't know anything beyond it. They don't know that they can expand as a human being, that they have abilities that are going to start to shine through as we open up our 24th chromosome. All this stuff is happening. It's really cool stuff that's happening to the human being as we evolve. So these energies affect us all differently. Empaths tend to get really irritated by Mercury retrograde. They can become more anxious because things are rattling up. But now you take someone who's, I'm going to say a 3D person, nothing wrong. They're just living their life, know nothing about this. That energy can also irritate them. But they're not going to know what's irritating them. They might just think that work extra irritated them today, or this person that always irritates me really got under my skin today. Because we are all affected by these energies that are pushing humanity toward evolution and the ascension process. And really what the ascension process is, as I mentioned, is this planet has had so much dark energy on it, has a dark fear-based consciousness. And fear has kind of run through the planet and humanity for thousands of years. We then kind of created where we are. So every fear-based thought, every worry kind of always exists. A thought never really dissolves and leaves. It stays in the field. So if you drove over a bridge and there was a big accident on that bridge, some of us are sensitive to energy. We'll feel that fear and the sadness of people who got hurt on that bridge because their energy is lingering there. So we're affected by so many things, like energies we don't understand, some of us more than others. So you meet someone and their energy is really beautiful and you're drawn to them because energetically we're being bombarded by their loving energy. You meet someone and we get pulled back because we don't like their energy because they're very dark and dense. So we all are affected by energy, but we don't always understand it. So that 3D person that's just living life is being affected by everything that's happening in our atmosphere, everything that's changing, all the energies that are affecting all of us. But some of us know about it and some of us don't. So whether we're saying yes to ascension or no, whether we're saying I agree with it, I don't agree with it, whether we know about it or not, we're all in it. We're all in it. So we do see people who get very agitated, not knowing why. And they can do crazy things in that state because that energy, that healing, I'm going to call it healing energy that's pushing us forward, can help you really, really grow and change and develop. And it's beautiful if you kind of get it. But if you're not getting it and you're more in a darker place and you're already in low vibration, that is going to irritate you. Another example of it, let's say you're in a bad mood and here you are in a bad mood and someone comes into your life who's so happy and joyful, like miserably likes company, right? So what happens is that person's high energy and you're low energy, or vice versa, you're the high person and someone else is low, is going to irritate this person who's low, like very frustrated. Most likely that person will just leave the room because you're in there, right? Oh, she's here or he's here, and they just leave the room. But now that person is being surrounded by all this energy that's, pushing them forward, and they're not ready to start healing. They don't understand it. They don't want to. So what happens is they can't leave the room to get escape from this energy that's affecting the planet. So sometimes they just get so frustrated. So they might blow up unexpectedly. They may do something stupid or what we would consider stupid, maybe hurt someone or things like that. I would say, yes, everyone is responsible for their actions, but we're getting bombarded by all these energies that kind of interfere, sometimes in a positive way, if you're getting that healing energy that's helping. But then there's the other side of it, because that's the light trying to push us forward. But there's also dark energy on Earth. And this is where we have the dark and the light and this interaction between it. And the dark energy can also interfere with us. So here I am trying my best to heal. I'm trying to heal physically. I'm working on myself. And I have something telling me, it's not going to fail. You shouldn't like this person. They're not the same as you, or be judgmental, or be worried, or be fearful. That's all coming from interference of the dark side. Once you realize where we're at, how this planet works, how we work, what we're here for, fear just kind of starts to melt away. And I've gone to that side. I had to go through my karma learning. I had to face my fear right to its face. I did all that. And it was scary. I'm not, so when I meet people who are in fear and irritated and scared, I get it. I was there. It's not a nice feeling, and I can't just pull you out of it. It doesn't work that way. It's something you need to do. You need to face your fears. But sometimes just looking at fear and saying, why am I fearful? Why am I feeling anxious? Sometimes it's not even yours. They're just thoughts that are coming at you. It's the media. It's all that stuff coming at you. Or you can feel great, you walk down the street, and you hear someone yelling and screaming at someone. Well, that energy is coming at you and makes you feel so icky, right? So we're all very interconnected. So the atmospheric energies out there are affecting each of us differently, but there's no one who's not affected. Like, we're all surrounded by this energy. It's how we sense it. So like, for those of you who feels the full moon, who gets really excited, can't sleep at a full moon? I'll raise my hands. You hear coyotes howling. I heard them yesterday. Actually, they were really loud last night. A lot of us can get affected by the energies of the moon. But I think I was reading somewhere, and some people aren't. So they say that the energy, the full moon energy, can be like a tick on a dog. It's there, and for some people, they'll be bothered by it. Some people just let it go. Some of us are very bothered by the moon. I love the moon's energy. I can't sleep. I can get so much work done, but I always feel something's bubbling up. So sometimes that energy can help us heal something. So it's kind of neat when, say something's coming up and there's a full moon coming up, you can do a little ritual on your own. Just write all the things that are making you sad or upset or this and that. And you go outside and in front of the full moon, either tear it up, but I like to grab the piece of paper and light it and let it watch it go and say, yeah, see you later. I don't need that anymore. But you don't even have to do that. You can just simply say, all this stuff that's bubbling up, I'm releasing it. There is something healing about the moon for a lot of people. Is that it is an energetic thing for a lot of people, but it doesn't necessarily mean everyone can feel it or everyone feels it directly. So some of us are more sensitive than others. So we're all different. So you kind of take your differences, love yourself for being you, and enjoy this body you're given, because it's just, an expression of who you are in this lifetime. And when we transition out, your soul never dies. Many of us learn this in our teachings, let's say. I think 80% of the world believes in incarnation. You don't have to believe in anything. You can believe in what you believe. But I always feel like this body is here to have us experience life. And sometimes life seems really heavy, but then I just always think like, yeah, this life on earth is heavy. It can be very heavy. It's a learning planet. So our souls came here to experience. And as we experience this thing called karma. What is karma? Karma is just cause and effect. So it's cause and effect, and it can happen, it can accumulate, right? But in this new energy, you can break your karma. You can say, okay, I've learned my lesson. I don't want to, sometimes we have these karmic loops, same thing over and over and over, so you haven't learned a lesson. I always ask, what lesson do I need to learn today? Show it to me. And then, as it bubbles up or something, we'll just release it. Because I don't want to keep repeating the same pattern, the same mistakes, the same crap over and over. I want to keep moving forward. Another thing, as we're going through like some of the things we're learning, and everyone's learning is different. So just because I learned something doesn't mean this person's going to learn it, but they have their own things to learn. But as you're learning stuff, you're it's uncomfortable. It can be very uncomfortable. And if I don't get the lesson, it's going to present itself again and present itself again. So I think I mentioned this before. I look at planet Earth like a video game, and I'm hitting different levels. And when I pass a level, I go to the next level. And how many levels there are, I think is endless. So you can always kind of raising your vibration, letting the darkness go, learning what lessons I need to learn. And our lessons are not something that our 3D self, the little Brenda, the little you really understands. We can sometimes get it completely wrong. So some people will have the same thing presenting and presenting. Oh, but I'm eating it. Like, I don't know why it's coming back. This is teaching me how to be a compassionate person and take people's stuff and, and just like, be understanding to someone who's mean to me. So I'm being a good person. So why does this lesson keep coming up? Because that's what my little self thinks it is. When in fact, the lesson might not be what I think. The higher self will give you the real lesson. So if you ask, what is the real lesson? What am I meant? If something's recurring in your life and you're frustrated, like, why does it keep happening? Ask, what is the real lessons? I'm missing it. Now, that thing that I had this whole understanding of was completely wrong. The learning in that case was when I finally gave up and said, okay, what is the lesson? It was about my self-love, my self-worth. I'm not supposed to be a doormat. Yes, you can be compassionate, but you also have to be discerning. Just because you're spiritual doesn't mean you're supposed to be a doormat, let people hurt you and repeat things over and over. You say, hey, I love myself. I am God. We're all divinity. We're all powerful beings. And if I'm going to let someone hurt me, that's one of the biggest, I'm going to say one of the worst things we can do, because really I'm saying I don't matter. How don't I matter? I'm a part of God. You're all a part of God. So you have to treat yourself and allow your experiences to treat you with respect and self-worth and self-love. And that is probably the biggest issue of all of humanity is we're taught we're not good enough. We're taught you can't connect to God. We're taught you're not powerful. Siblings tell each other you're ugly, you're not pretty, you'll never amount to anything, you're stupid. A sibling telling you that, it feeds that into your deep consciousness. And so it's very interesting. There's a lot of healing that we need to do. So we allow people to take advantage of us and we think we're being kind and compassionate. No, you're actually hurting yourself because you don't have boundaries, you don't have self-love. So when I see people really starting to peel the layers and find themselves, I love it because that's where I am. And I just realize, wow, there's so many things in my life that I just allowed all my life. And there were just lessons coming at me that I ignored, thinking I was meant to be this doormat or this kind person that loved everyone. So it doesn't mean I can't love everyone and everything, but I can say, hey, I love you. I love you for where you are in your life. I love you for where you are in your soul's journey. But I'm not a doormat. I'm not going to be a part of your life. Although I hold you in the light, I send you love. I'm sending you as much love as I can that you'll get better or find your way. But I'm not responsible for your journey, for one. I'm responsible for me. It's really neat when you get to that point, because then you have no expectations of anyone and you really don't care what people think of you anymore. You're just living life to the best of your ability, being as kind, but having the discernment to know what relationships are beneficial and what relationships are not, and how to put boundaries in. And I get so many people like that are scared to move past their relationships because relationships are where we're comfortable. So even if a relationship is not serving you, it's so scary to move to that next place where I'm loving myself, but that relationship's no longer there. But as you start to heal and you start to move forward and take those baby steps, go as slow as you need to go. But as you're moving forward and kind of breaking things, you never hold anyone in the darkness, because let's say, I'm just going to give an example of the mean spouse, male or female, right? That happens in all ways. And you're not meant to be together because you're growing and you finally realize this. Because some people say, no, I have to take care of them. I'm trying to hold the light for them. You're not responsible for that person. So let's say you finally break up and you're on your way. But you don't hold that ex-spouse in the dark. I'm better now. I'm more enlightened. I'm a better person, and they're not, because you can't hold your light fully if you're holding one thing in the darkness. You need to see everything in the light for what it is. Now, I may not like that person's behavior. I may not like how they treated me. I'm going to forgive them for treating me that way, because if I don't forgive them, I'm going to hold myself in the darkness. I'm going to forgive them and release myself and hold them in a place where, hey, I didn't love what you did to me, but I love you unconditionally, and I send you love and light because you are a part of God. Everything on this planet is a part of God, and we can't hold anything out. So when all these energies are coming through, it's all of humanity that is healing, not just the good people who are kind. It's also pushing that energy to the people who are closed-minded, mean. It's edging them on to try to open up their hearts. So all the energies that are coming together are to help humanity's hearts open. When somebody's heart's open, they allow more light to come in. They shine more light as they start to pull away the darkness, and they now hold more light for the human consciousness. And then another person wakes up, and another person wakes up, and another person wakes up, and another person. So when I say the light on the planet is increasing every day, it's because humanity is opening up their hearts. It's like popcorn effect. And the neat thing is, humanity got itself in this mess. Humanity needs to get itself out. So I know there's a lot of people that will come to me and say, we're going to be saved. These ETs are coming, and they made this magical bed, and we're going to go in the bed, and they're going to shake away all our traumas, and we're going to be full of light. It's not going to work that way. But we do have beings of light. We do have ETs helping humanity, holding the space for us. But it's a personal transition, it's a personal journey, and it's not easy. For some of us who have been in it for a long time, it's frustrating. You want to give up. This is way too hard. How is this possible? How can we hold so much bullshit in our field? It's crazy. But it's there. It's thousands of years of living on this planet, and it's a beautiful planet, and it's getting more beautiful every day. So when we see all that stuff that's happening in the world, it's not any worse than it. Actually, it's better than it. We're in a better spot than we've ever been, although everything's bubbling up because the dark consciousness on this planet wants us to think we haven't made any progress. We have made tremendous progress. We are moving forward very fast. But if, depending what you're looking at, you can either be in fear and seeing what's happening, or you can arise above the fear and say, hey, war, hey, hatred, hey, judgment, hey, anxiety. You are no longer going to control me. This new earth we're going through is full of love and light. So I'm sending you love, and I'm dissolving you. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm not sending you hate. I'm not sending you bad vibes. I'm acknowledging and adding it to the collective of all that is, which is the love of God. Because all creation comes from that love of God, whether it's the contrast, the duality, the crap, or the good. So you just encompass it, and you slowly over time, as people start to get a higher consciousness, as we start to see beyond what the 3D world is, and you start to see, hey, I matter, I am an important person, I am powerful, I'm beautiful, and I'm going to work every day on my self-love, because self-love is me first. I'm going to work, and I'm going to feel better and lighter, because as I hold light, I'm holding it for my friends and family, and I'm moving forward as the collective. So we're all moving at our own pace individually, and then we affect the collective. And as humanity heals, the planet heals. And as the planet heals, humanity heals. We're all in this together. That's really neat, actually, when you look at it. So nothing can really get under my skin. Someone yells at me, someone says something. They're just going through their stuff, right? Yeah, and I just hold the light for them. I'm not going to judge them. I'm not going to tell them they have to act better. I don't have to stay there and take it. Hey, do your thing, sending love. I'm on my way. and you can choose who you're around now. Some people say, how do you choose your family? You're stuck in, I get it. But sometimes those family relationships are the best ones because they really test us to hold the light in a situation that's not a big one. Affirmations are huge. I can wake up every day and say my house is full of love, joy, and happiness, even though it isn't. It's all about faith, knowing, and belief. And once you get and you practice it, it then becomes a knowing. And once you are knowing, then nothing can break it because you can't wobble out of it. I was speaking to someone today, and the one thing I know, 100% know, I know a lot of things, but 100% thing I know is whenever my body's sick, no matter what I have, I will recover from it. And because it's such a solid knowing that this body, or all our bodies, can heal 100% from anything. I don't care if you're born with it. I really believe no matter what we have, our bodies can overcome it in this new energy. And I solidly know that. And because I know it, I create it. So nothing scares me. I'm not scared of being sick. And the worst thing, let's say something happened and I got hit by a car and died. Well, really, the way I look at it is I'm transitioning, and I mean, that was my time, but I'm not dying. So we have no fear of sickness, no fear of whatever it is, fear of not being liked, fear of someone's judgment, fear of whatever. We have that, no fear. You just live your life in a whole different state of vibration, of higher vibration. In a higher vibration, there is no fear, there is no judgment, there is no anxiety, there's none of that stuff. So I flip and I go back and forth because that's just life. Sometimes you can't live in 5D all the time as I'm on planet Earth, so I see things, I resolve them, I go back up, so we go in and out. Sometimes we have good days and bad days. Sometimes we have good minutes, and then sometimes we have bad minutes, and sometimes we're in the longer in the more of the fear. But look at the fear. Why are you fearful? What is going to hurt you at this immediate moment? In this present moment, all is well. It's all well. And the positive you stay, your cells are going to respond. They're going to get healthier. Talk to those cells. I love you. You're healthy. Let's go. I'm working with some pretty difficult cases where doctors are just giving up on people. They said, you're done. No, they're not done. You're done. You're done. But you're not done. If you're breathing, you're not done. Your mind, your thoughts can really change anything. Every cell can switch to a positive, healthy cell. And if it can't, you ask the cell, hey, pass away cell, but come back as a healthy cell. Choose whatever. You can be a hair cell, a skin cell, an organ cell. I don't care. Just if you can't become healthy, die off and come back. They listen. Their cells listen. They're conscious. Every cell is there as a part of you. Talk to your body if it's hurting, and talk to it every day. Form this relationship. It listens to your thoughts, and try to keep your thoughts as positive as possible, because you matter, you're intelligent, you're powerful, and anything is possible. There's no limits. The only limits are the limits in our belief systems that are capped. Start pulling those away slowly but surely, and just see how magical this place really is. All right, everyone. And I said I wasn't going to talk today. So thank you for listening. Deep breath. That energy has been flowing, it's still flowing, and we're going to just have it come out as strong as possible. So take a deep breath and set an intention. I am ready to heal. I allow this energy to do whatever is needed. It's always going to be to your best interest. Your higher self is the one that's leading it. It knows exactly what you need, where you need it. So just allow it to do its work. And as any dark, dense energy, old stuff is leaving, you're being replaced with love and light. It is going to continue to work for 4 or 5 days. So yes, there can be some emotional burst or something's, kind of unlatched a block. And then you might feel like, oh, what was that all about? You don't have to fully understand it. Just say, thank you for letting that go. We don't always understand what we're releasing. We're releasing things that are coming from all these different times, like, past lives, things like that. We don't have to understand it. Just let it go and say, thank you. I'm accepting the love of God or the light, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. And just, work on your healing. So I'm going to start the music. If anyone has any questions, feel free to put them on. I can answer them afterwards. And I wonder if Isabel's still listening. She's probably saying, what is my mom talking about? That was pretty deep, I think. All right, everyone. If you ever have any questions of what I talk about, feel free to just reach out. I have no problems chatting with someone for, 10, 15 minutes. If you're having, like, sometimes I have people who are in a really bad shape. They say, Brenda, sometimes they can't even talk. And they'll say, I'm texting, I have no words, I'm in such fear. Can you please help me snap out of it? And, usually it's really just a very quick energetic block that they're going through. We'll release it and like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Sometimes something's bubbling so big, it's hard to let it go. So, I'm here to help as much as I can. And I try to get back to every email, text, and phone call. All right, here we go, everyone. All right. That sounds about right. I like that. We'll put it a little louder. I'm gonna let me know if it's too loud or if it's okay, and we'll start. Okay. I'm gonna have a little bit of my tea. And now some water. Okay. There we go. Just take a deep breath. Nothing you really need to do. Just allow. And how do I allow? Just say I allow. Just let it happen. All right, everyone. Enjoy. We're all in this together. Okay. Someone said this, the singing bowl sounds squeaky. It might be that I'm too close, but the intention of it's still going to work. So I apologize for the squeakiness. But what's happening with the singing bowl, it's using sound vibration to just kind of push out any last minute negative energies that need to go. So again, that works. So anyway, that was a really nice session. I had a vision of Mother Earth there, and the energy from all of us was kind of drifting in and out of all of humanity. So, you can go to bed knowing that you have a beautiful healing, but you've also contributed to a beautiful healing to all of humanity. Because when those light waves go out, they're made available to those who can accept them. They're there. We can't force people to take them, but we can at least make them available. So thank you for joining me tonight. I think the next one's in about a week, and then I'll add some more dates. I think I'm going to change the date as we get into October or late September to 8:30 again, because it's getting darker. A little sad for us, are noticing it, but it is what it is. One thing that doesn't change are seasons. So we're back to school kind of thing, right? That's September. But beautiful weather still we're having. So I'm expecting nice weather until November. So, all right, everyone. You know what? For those of you saying that you're very sick, say every day you're getting better and better. Any sickness can just turn itself around. So I know you're saying you're sick because that's what's true at this time, but just say, yeah, buddy, you know what it is to be healthy. So I'm getting better and better every day. There's a really great YouTube video if you want to just sleep listening to it on replay. I tend to Abraham Hicks Physical Wellbeing Meditation. You might want to try that, Renata. That usually I just fall asleep listening to that on replay because it does bring in more healing energy. You already have tons there, but if you want to do something actively, because sometimes that helps us understand that we're healing, then try that as well. All right, everyone, have Abraham Hicks Physical Wellbeing Meditation. It's free on YouTube. It's 15 minutes, easy to listen to. And what I love about that is she always says, no matter how sick you are, your body can recover. And I truly believe that. All right. All right, everyone, have a peaceful night. Again, any questions or anything, you can always email me or text me. Have a good night. The replay will be out there for those of you who want to watch it again. And that's it. All right, everyone, have a good one. Thank you so much. Good night. I'm getting a lot of direct messages, so thank you, everyone. You're all very welcome. Yeah, good night, everyone. Good night. Sleep well. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.